because I think at this point we are going to continue to just continue to create great quality information for you guys using different Google Hangouts.
Hi, I've got a really bad connection.
Oh, you do?
I wouldn't start until everybody's connected, Seth.
I'm going to switch to my laptop. It's got a booster.
Okay.
Ooh, you all sound like robots. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound
good.
Give us a minute, guys. Sorry about this. Sometimes when you go live on the air, there are slight complications, and we just have to work past that. So I appreciate you watching this video, though, and we're going to give you guys a ton of value.
Who's all supposed to be joining?
Well, I can start it off. I just want to make sure that, you know, everybody's mics sound okay and there's no interference. Okay. Can you hear me, Christopher? Or Christian? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna have to push mute because there's a lot of background noise here until everybody gets out of the dive shop here.
Hey Neil, that is your mic, by the way. I muted you out just now, so whatever you have going on upstairs is not working. It's making a lot of noise into the actual Google Hangout right now. So I muted you temporarily until you can figure out the problem.
Do you want to just mute me too? And then unmute me whenever, or do you want me to control it?
You're fine.
Hey.
You're not even loud.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm back. Sorry.
That's all right.
It's
so,
okay
Neil,
now.
you need to fix your headset, buddy. Anyways, yeah, let's get right into it today. So basically, we want to talk about online businesses and different ways you can automate your business online. And for me personally, it's been a lifesaver just with my time. I'm able to spend more time with my family and friends and really get away from just having, you know, control over every aspect of my business. It's sometimes nice to step away and just do your own thing sometimes, and you know, it gives you an opportunity to outsource things and to automate stuff, and there's a lot of great programs out there for automation right now. So the first one I just wanted to talk about is, one second here, let me pull up my list. So the first one I wanted to talk about today would be RoboForm, and what RoboForm does is it basically allows you to store all your account information from all the different sites that you have an account with online, and it'll allow you to make a master password to where you can actually send out bulk messages. I'm sorry, to where you can actually log in with one master password, and it just makes it really easy. It's like a phone on speed dial, basically, for all the different accounts you have online. And then there's another one called LastPass. It's very similar, and it's also a great way to automatically log yourself in. But you know, let me ask you, Christian, how do you feel about these, and have they actually helped you in your business? Okay, I muted you. Okay, you're unmuted now. Nope, you're still muted.
How about now?
You're good now. So how have these helped you in your business?
Well, I used LastPass. I haven't tried RoboForm, but LastPass is great. I mean, that's the thing is when you get into these online businesses or even just building a web page or just there's so many different apps and services we use today, even just in our personal lives, that if you get into using something like LastPass where you have one master secure password and then you can generate all of these, crazy long, strong passwords with all the different characters, then you're really securing it, and you only have to remember the one password. So to be able to get into all these different things with just a click of a button, and it automatically fills it in for you without having to go find all your passwords, and it's an extension, so it goes across all of your browsers if you're using Chrome. So it's nice. Whatever computer you're on, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just with whether you choose LastPass or RoboForm, it's really personal preference. They both pretty much do the same exact job, and you can add the app to any browser that you're currently using. So if you're an internet marketer or if you're a home-based business owner and you just have a lot of accounts online, you definitely need to get it because it'll help you for sure. So Elaine, do you use any of those automated password login thingies?
Yes, because I'd have no chance of remembering everything otherwise. There's just no way. I just think I use LastPass, and it's so simple and so straightforward that it saves me a ton of time, because I was like trying to find a way of doing this, ended up with lists, ended up with forms on my computer, trying to make it work, and there's just no safe way to do it, no easy and quick way, until I came across LastPass, and it has saved an awful lot of time, plus a lot of stress when you're trying to log on and remember your password, and you're at password number 4. It's just you cut all of that out, so it's really made a difference in my business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I probably have over 100 accounts online, and all my passwords are different. So when you have like a really long master password, it just makes everything so much easier, and you don't have to remember those passwords. So Neil, do you use it like RoboForm or LastPass? You're muted, buddy. Okay, you're on now.
I don't know why you muted me or what you're hearing from my microphone, but
it's just making the whole show sound blurry or fuzzy.
okay. No, I don't use LastPass or RoboForm. I do need to get one of those, though. Those services are probably pretty good, but I just haven't set it up yet.
Oh, okay, cool. So the next thing I wanted to talk about in the list would definitely be search engine optimization. Now, a lot of people probably wouldn't look at search engine optimization as a way to automate your business, but in fact, in my opinion, it is, because if you're using search engine optimization and you're getting your site ranked, your blog articles ranked, you're actually allowing search engines to drive traffic to your site for you for free, and without you having to put any extra effort into other than the initial blog post, and maybe doing some article directory submissions and things like that. But if you can really implement SEO for just pretty much automating your whole traffic flow on your website. So Christian, what do you think about that?
He's on mute.
I keep muting him.
He's saying something really good as well.
Let's see. I have to unmute you, buddy. No.
I got it.
You're good now.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No worries. So, yeah, I mean, I think exactly what you said is that it's definitely one of those things that you don't think of as being an automation source of your business, but the reality is, I mean, a website in general is automating your business if it's a functional website, if it's working for you and it's not just a static billboard or brochure type of website. But the back end of that, obviously the SEO, very important, because that's your guy who's going out and knocking on doors for you.
Absolutely.
Showing people where you live.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, if there's Google search engines, there's Bing, there's Yahoo. There's just so many different ways to drive traffic to your site. for free and completely automated, and you just let these big companies pretty much do it. So yeah, I definitely didn't think that was something people really thought of as a part of automating your business, but it is. Elaine, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. The thing with the search engine optimization, apart from the beginning where you do your tweaking and you're checking that everything is working how you want it to, you're attracting the right people. After that, you're right. You just leave it to get on with it itself. And really, unless you notice nothing happening or something particular working, there's not really a need to keep going back to it. So until you notice the peaks or the troughs, yeah, it does it all by itself. It's great. Really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And Neil, you've pretty much you've been able to send a lot of traffic to your squeeze pages and landing pages pretty much on autopilot. Isn't that correct? I don't know why you're still muted. All right, I unmuted you. Hold on one second. Now, Neil, he has actually built over 100,000 email subscriber list, and it's pretty impressive, if you ask me.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why he's still muted, but he is. I don't think he knows how to control the Google Hangout settings.
Oh,
Hey, we got him. Here he is.
I just unmuted myself. I guess maybe you muted me because it's there's some interference coming through. But if you can hear me now, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about my email marketing.
Yeah, it sounds a lot better now, actually.
Okay, good. Yeah, email marketing is really something that everybody should do. You shouldn't have a website where you're not collecting a name or email or just an email address. Obviously, using squeeze pages is what is going to really help you become a good email marketer. Without that kind of skill set, you're not really going to build lists like a pro. But collecting leads is really just a simple thing. It's all about knowing how to connect with other people and create relationships where you're trading traffic. So that's kind of the concept there. You just want to build a list and then hook up with other people that have lists your size and just kind of trade that traffic back and forth and make money off of each other. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for quite a while, and it seems to work pretty well. So.
And you've been pretty much automating the whole system as far as like autoresponder follow-ups and things like that as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I just have to meet up with people and make sure I send my emails. So it's all about scheduling at that point. You just need to schedule your swaps. If you do swaps, you know what that is. You just need to schedule your swaps and exchange the links and send the emails. So once you start building a list, it's really something that can boost any business. So everybody should be focused on that at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And just real quickly, I kind of wanted to jump back to blog automation. Now, if you're using like a WordPress site, I don't think a lot of people really know this or just really took the time to do the research on it, but there's a way for you to schedule out your blog posts or your podcast if you have an audio or video podcast within WordPress. It's built into the WordPress software, so if you were to go to add a new page and then upload your article and add your media, you can simply schedule out your post to be published on a specific day. So even if it was a month from now, you can still schedule out your posts. So how that works really well, and you can take a lot of advantage of it, is let's say you created 5 articles, okay, and you had a video or an audio to go along with that as a podcast. Well, you could literally schedule it out a month in advance and never have to touch it for the rest of the month. So imagine if you took the time and you really pushed through and you wrote 5 to 10 articles and then you publish it out for the next couple months. You could actually sit back and enjoy the benefits of your posts being automatically scheduled. But of course, with articles, it's always a good idea to submit them to article directories and also try to drive social media to your blog posts. And there are ways that we're going to talk about with social media, ways that you can automate publishing on your fan page and in groups as well. So we'll get into that here shortly. But have you personally used that, Christian? I keep calling you Christopher. I'm sorry. I'm trying to on.
He's still on mute.
Yeah, no, I
Oh, there he is.
have not used that.
Okay. Well, you have a WordPress website, right? About scuba diving.
Yes.
That's awesome, dude. And you currently
Yeah,
have,
that's right. It's
have a podcast there.
about scuba diving.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean,
Yeah, so the podcast is hosted on the WordPress platform, but I haven't scheduled any of that out yet. Are you getting ready to do that since you're going on vacation here?
yeah, absolutely. I'm going to North Carolina tomorrow evening, so I'm gonna do a couple articles, and they will be automatically published on my WordPress blog, while I'm on vacation, which will be really nice. And then I can spend the rest of my time, going in different Facebook groups and just kind of marketing my articles to different people and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely a huge advantage if you schedule your posts out.
Yeah, can I just jump in and say I use the blog posts and the schedule the podcasts as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is, I've got I always try and have 2 to 3 weeks up front, because you can also schedule using your host for your podcast. So I use Libsyn, and I can schedule ahead, which is really, really good, especially if you've got more than one a week.
Does Libsyn automatically publish it to your WordPress blog?
Yeah, and as long as you then have in tandem with it, will all work by itself.
Okay, great. That's really awesome. Let's see here. Let's talk to Neil a little bit. Have you ever considered scheduling out your WordPress posts or anything like that? Dang it. There he goes.
I keep clicking the button when I hear you talk to me. Yeah. No, I haven't actually scheduled them to go out at any certain time, but I generally try to just keep my regular blog readers kind of current. Lately, though, that's been kind of on the back burner, but blogging is definitely a way to go. Writing is something that you should try to perfect as a marketer. It should just be something that you try to do all the time, just on your spare time, to get better at it, get better at writing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's see what else we want to talk about today. Okay, so how about, just a real quick overview of some different automatic backup solutions. And I personally use Blog Vault for this. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, yeah, fine. Keep going.
Okay, great. Yeah, I personally use Blog Vault for this, and it's been a real lifesaver just as far as backing up my WordPress website and keeping everything nice and secure. It also has an ability to test restore your site, and basically it pops up your site that you just backed up on their servers. So you can actually go on their servers and pretty much browse your site and make sure nothing is missing and everything is backed up and secure. And then we also have Backup Buddy, which is, I highly recommend that for a WordPress automation backup solution as well. And also Updraft. Do you guys use any of that? Any of those plugins? Hold on.
Those. But now that you mentioned Blog Vault, it sounds amazing. I'm going to start using it.
Well, yeah, Blog Vault is a little expensive, though. I think for one site it's $10 a month. And then I think it jumps to 3 sites for $20 a month, and then from there, I mean, the price does drop, but yeah, it's fairly expensive for a backup solution. But I love it. I mean, you can automate everything, and it's really secure, and they have a really nice back office you can log in.
That's it. Yeah, and the thing is, your website's so integral to your business. That's actually sounds like quite a good deal.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine losing everything I worked for over the past year or so. Yeah,
exactly.
Just in a blink of an eye. That's how quick you can do it.
I wanted to jump in real quick. I just wanted to talk about the writing of blog posts and what people should focus on as opposed to what they can do wrong. I noticed just I've been doing blog posts for years and years now, and the one thing I've realized is that people want to get to know you personally. So becoming more personal in your writing is something that you need to do. It's all about generating emotion out of words and getting people to be more interactive with you as a person. So if they sense that you're writing this stuff and it's not some outsourced article or something like that, that's always a better thing. So you're much better off to write your own, do your own work. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point, Neil. I appreciate you for bringing that up.
One thing I was going to bring up about security. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Not necessarily that it's going to be an automated thing, but it does save some time, is a plugin called WordFence. Does anybody use that?
I've heard of it.
It's a security thing, but I get, in my website all the time, I get people trying to log in, and it notifies me every time somebody tries to log in, and you can set it to block those IP addresses.
Yeah.
And lock them out, and then once they're locked out, you can just manually block those IP addresses forever. So, it's not that it necessarily is saving you a lot of time up front, but if anybody ever does get in there and wipe you out, I mean, obviously the security is going to be a major time saver as far as preventing you to even get to that backup stage.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point as well. Man, there's a lot of good stuff floating around this Hangout. Does anybody else want to add anything to this before we jump into email marketing a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about some email marketing, shall we?
All right, I guess I'll start it off. So, email marketing is basically you can use third-party platforms basically to store all your subscribers, and you can store them in lists. That's what they call them, and you can store them in different type of lists depending on what you're offering and so on and so forth. So email marketing is an absolute amazing way to schedule out emails. You can send them out immediately. Then you can set up an autoresponder to go out 2, 3, 4 days later, and then so on and so forth through the month. So you could actually schedule out an entire piece by piece sales pitch for the whole entire month, and it's completely automated, and you don't have to do anything after you initially set it up. Of course, if you're going to do something that long, you would have to really plan it out and make sure you have all your links in place and your offers and things like that. But for me, I think I normally stick to about a 7-day follow-up series. Then after that, I like to contact my subscribers on the spot and talk to them about really relevant things. So that's been my experience, and I built over an 80,000 subscriber list using GetResponse and Aweber, and they've been just amazing third-party platforms. They're extremely cheap, actually. You can sign up with Aweber for $1. GetResponse is free, and then after your first month or 15 days or something like that, they charge you $15 per 1,000 subscribers. So you're not really getting charged a lot of money until your list is actually building. And the bigger you build your list and the quality, and as long as you're sending out quality follow-up emails to them and giving your list true value, then you're going to potentially build a really solid relationship with your list, and they will be more responsive in the future as well. Do you guys personally use any autoresponders, or have you considered looking into it? Let me unmute you, Christian. Go ahead. Go ahead, Elaine.
Okay, I was going to say that I use MailChimp for my newsletter and for my autoresponder. So as soon as somebody decides that they would like to keep in touch and I take their email address, which is the perfect thing you want to do, I use MailChimp to do the immediate autoresponder. But I use another thing which we've not got on the list as well, which is Instant Customer, which does the same thing that GetResponse Aweber does. You can add all sorts of different things on there. You can send out a video. You can allow people to download all sorts of different things with a, if you're doing a video series, or if you're doing a link to your podcast, if you've got a document that they can download, it deals with all of that. So I am loving that at the moment.
Go ahead and fill us in, Christian. If you can unmute your mic. I'm not touching it anymore. I'll let you guys handle it. I think you found the functions
Yeah, I think as soon as I unmuted it, you muted me back.
On accident, yeah, because there's a time delay in the Google Hangout. So yeah.
Gotcha. So I was like, all right, I'll shut up. No, I use Mailchimp, but I don't use it the way that I should. I haven't gotten into all the features like you have, Elaine, and that it's definitely something that I need to get into, and I need to start building that list better. But this is definitely a part-time deal. I'm not necessarily trying to monetize it right now, so it's definitely a hobby right now. But I do want to do the things that I need to do up front, so that when I am ready to hopefully monetize the podcast, I will have that email list.
Yeah.
And one other tool that I want to talk about that is definitely really good is Boomerang. Do you guys know of Boomerang for Gmail?
No, I haven't
I've
heard
heard
of
of it, but I don't know.
Well, this is going to save you a lot of time. So say if you're sending a personal email to, I mean, it could be a business email, but you're personally sending it, not necessarily through MailChimp. It's not a sequenced email. But you're sending an email to somebody and you need to hear back from them within 2 or 3 days, then you can boomerang that and it'll notify you so that you don't have to keep it up here in your brain if it's anything like mine, full of all kinds of stuff. Then I don't have to remember that, in 2 days I need to make sure they call me or email me back. It'll just send me back that message and say, this guy hasn't responded yet.
Wow.
And then there's all sorts of other features within that, but that's sort of the main feature that I like is that.
Well, send me the link to that. You can even post it. If I open up questions and answers, you can just post it there, and then we can have access to all those great resources as well.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just an extension
great.
you can download.
Neil, did you want to add anything to the email marketing? I actually wanted to show people the back office of my GetResponse account real fast and just show people like how far along the technology has advanced as far as setting up like an automated follow-up sequence.
Yeah, you can pull that up if you want. I'll talk a little bit. Yeah, email marketing is huge. It's really it kind of depends on if you are in the information product niche. I mean, if you're not into information products, then you won't necessarily do such a big amount of like revenue from your list. But if you get into the information products, you can really create anything you want, at a very low cost and give people just a more in-depth look at what you want them to know or what they need to know about whatever service or thing you're talking about. If it's scuba diving, then you can obviously target people based on something that they don't know or need to know about scuba diving, and you can make a short, small product out of those needs, and then fill that need and basically just start building a list of buyers, which, a list is great, and freebie lists are nice too because people want to be in contact with you. But as far as monetizing it, it doesn't need to be a bad thing. There's kind of like a stereotype on monetizing as if that can be a really bad thing. You want to focus on giving people an option, and if they don't have the option to give you any money, then you're not going to make any money. So there's really cool things like I remember Facebook, when they first came out, they didn't want to have ads because they wanted to make more money in the long run, and that's great. But you have to realize when you are building a Facebook and when you are building a website where people are coming to get information and they're going to stop in and read what you wrote, maybe look around, and then they're never going to come back again. So if you have a simple blog like I do about marketing, I kind of predict that most of the people who come, and I get like 50,000 visitors a year or whatever, I don't know. Just natural traffic comes from my email list and SEO stuff too. But are those people going to come back? And if you don't collect their email, you're never going to see them again. So let's not be afraid to ask for the email, and basically, you want to give them the option to get in now. It should be kind of like a call to action type thing. So don't be afraid to put those call to actions on your blogs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. Do you guys mind? I just want to share my screen with you and just show you the back office of my GetResponse account. Is that okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let's see here. Can you see my screen now? Uh-huh.
Yeah,
All right, you're
I can
good.
see. Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay, so this is basically the back office of my GetResponse account I just created, and I really haven't run too many leads through here yet. I'm actually in the process of setting up the follow-up sequence. But as you can see, here's the month right here, and it's a complete visual a way of doing it that they recently switched over. And as you can see, here's my first follow-up, and it pops up and it lets you know it's active, and you can turn it off and on however you want to do it. But it's just really simple to create, a follow-up sequence on the days that you want people to see them just by simply clicking on the day you want your email to go out. So let's say this is the first email they'll get when they sign up to my newsletter. Well, I can schedule one to go out 2 or 3 or 4 days later. Probably in this case, I would do like 3 days. So let me see if I can take you to the actual template. So as you can see, this says day 3, and it's completely intuitive and really easy to use. You can schedule this to go out every day of the 3rd day of each subscriber. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm just going to take you to the templates and just show you how cool it really is. So here's the template I created. Hold on. Let me see something here. Okay, so I'm going to create a new template right here. And then you have to name it something. We'll just call it demo, subject, hello, whatever. And then you do track your clicks as well, and then you just go to next. And then it'll just pull up all these really cool looking templates that are already pre-designed for you that you can simply just click on and start adding your own content to. Just 1 second here. We got to wait for it to load. And this is, I've seen MailChimp and I've seen Aweber. I've used them both. And this is probably my favorite autoresponder. Just because everything's completely drag and drop. If you want to delete something, you just click delete. You can delete anything you want, or you can drag and drop other, stuff in the areas. You can add your own logo. You can really make it customized. You can really make a customized newsletter this way. So that was just something I wanted to show you guys really quickly. And I'm gonna turn my screen sharing off real fast. Okay. Okay, I think we're back now, right?
I can't see you, but I can hear you. Oh, hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good. Very good.
One thing, if I could say about automation is to get into talking about Rebel Mouse. And you brought up newsletter, and Rebel Mouse can certainly help with that. But what Rebel Mouse is it's a curation software. So you can go out there and you can type in keywords and hashtags and that sort of thing, and it'll go out and it'll find all of these posts on all of these topics, and it'll pull them all together for you. And I can't do a screen share, but if you want, you can go to my website and see where I have that, and then you can do that screen share if you want to.
Yeah,
it's just that.
Let me hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can open up the questions.
It's just scubapath.com. If you just go there and then click on social, I think, or there's only a couple options there, but it's like social feed. And if you click on that, you'll see that it'll take a minute, but that Rebel Mouse feed will pop up. And so I'll just talk about it while you're getting that set up.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind. But
yeah,
it's really, really cool. And then you have the capability of, once you create this feed based on all of these things, there's different ways you can do it. It can pull everything into a draft section where you have to go through and approve all the feeds, so you're not getting a bunch of junk in there. If somebody else has a similar hashtag or some other keyword that is going to pull in some junk, You can sort of have it go into all this cache, and then you can go through there and pick everything out and say, I want to approve this, I want to approve this, and then you're creating this feed based off of that. So it really, really, really shaves a ton of time of going out there and finding content. Because when we're talking about doing social media and we're talking about wanting to do like 90%, 80% of somebody else's stuff, help promote other people, like Neil was talking about earlier with swapping, and you're always helping somebody, hoping they'll help you. If you're out there
absolutely
spending your whole day trying to find this content to help people out, obviously you're not going to get a lot done. But if you use a tool like Rebel Mouse, then it's going to automatically pull all that in, and then you can just real quickly go through it and approve it or have it automatically post. And then you can they can subscribe to a newsletter from that also.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm actually I'm trying to right now. The internet's running a little slow. I'm not sure if it's my internet or if it's the website. I don't think it's the website though. Just give me is it under live social feed?
Yes.
All right, let me click on that.
When you click, that's the thing I do not like about it though, is with that live social feed, when you click on it, do you see the text I put in there that said, please wait? It takes just a moment to load, because for some reason that feed does take a long time to load.
Yeah, I've seen Rebel Mouse, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does take a little while to load, but it really does. Yeah, it does pull up a lot of good information as well.
So you can, and that's all automatic stuff. I don't go through. I mean, that's just keywords that I've popped in. It automatically populates this page for me, so you can look at it and see that most of it's pretty relevant to my audience.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 second here. I'm just trying to pull it up for everybody to see. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen if I can.
And then the cool thing is, if I do want to, I can go through that and then click to tweet it out or post it to Facebook, and so it's populating all that content for me. But then I can go through and also stick it out in my social feeds on my own, on my social platforms. I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. So can you guys see the screen now? Basically, where the social feed.
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't.
Oh, yes, I can. Yeah, I can now. It's here.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome, really.
So that pulls from Instagram, it pulls from Twitter, it pulls from Facebook. You can put in RSS feeds, so you can pull it straight from your blog. So I mean, you could even essentially put in, if you have a podcast, you could put in your RSS feed, and it would automatically pop up all your episodes there too.
What social sharing are you using for that? Is that part of Rebel Mouse, or is that something different?
That's a plugin for WordPress.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So I'm going to jump back out of here. That was definitely cool to check out.
So while we're in that sort of area, should we talk about Hootsuite?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Because that sort of links in nicely from talking about what sort of social sharing Rebel Mouse is using, but Hootsuite I just am absolutely loving at the moment. It's so usable. You can schedule just everything. You could schedule the next month if you wanted to, like hundreds and hundreds of tweets you can have ready. You can use Twitter. You can schedule G+, Facebook. In Facebook, you can schedule into pages. You can schedule into groups. You can schedule into LinkedIn, Instagram, your WordPress. Yeah. So it's so usable, it's so easy to do, and you can check your engagement as well. There's all sorts of analytics, and that is in the Pro. You have to have the Pro version, but I'm trying that out. You can add an RSS feed, you can add additional, like a second user. So if you had a VA, for example, which we're going to talk about in a little while, you can add another user and you can have them make sure that everything's populated for the next month if you want. If you're that far ahead and you know exactly what you're doing for the next month, you can do it in Hootsuite. It's incredible. The analytics, I think, are incredible as well. You can get an engagement summary with Twitter, and you can see exactly what has worked and what hasn't worked. So you can even get your Google Analytics in there, and you can custom report it as well. So I would definitely say, if you're using social media, which any business should be, especially if you're blogging, then yeah, definitely check out Hootsuite.
Yeah,
It's awesome
that
and
is
easy.
that does sound really awesome. I think just automating your business in general, that's one of the best ways to do it for social media. And then you can even take it a step further, like you were saying, and outsource it, which you're pretty much hands off at that point. Obviously, you want to monitor the stuff
Yes.
that's being posted from your VA, and you want it to be personable. So that's something to consider. I mean, you can't just completely abandon your business, but there are ways to definitely automate everything, and this is definitely something to consider. Is this an expensive service, or is it fairly reasonable?
No, you can start off for free, and you can do like your main 3 accounts that you use. So say you were hooked on Twitter, G Plus, and Facebook, you can do that for free. But then there is the next level up, which is the Pro, and that's £9 99 a month. So
Okay.
that would be what, 12, probably about $13 or $14 a month.
Oh, that ain't
Which
too
I
bad at
think
all.
no, I mean for the usability and the amount that you can do in there and how important social media is, I just don't think that that's ridiculously expensive at all. I think it's really good value.
For that price, I don't think any business owner can really live
No,
without that.
no, I agree. I don't think I just think you can the amount of time that you can save because once you get onto social media, you're there to do a job, you're there to get your tweets out, but if you have to keep coming back into it, you're constantly stopping what you're doing, going back to the social media. It's not a one time a day thing. You have to do it more than once. And you can get dragged away, a little something that you see, and it's a huge time saver, really, really good for people.
Yeah,
People,
absolutely.
you just get dragged away, you can't help it, whatever you're doing. So huge
Uh,
time saver.
there's some other things I wanted to talk about as well. I think Hootsuite is probably the best one out there for the price because I've looked around and a lot of those services that automate everything social, they get really pricey. So you sound like you found the right one. Uh,
Definitely, I'm sure I have.
But let's talk for a second about payment automation for your business. I think this is something people tend to look over until after they launch their online product or whatever they start their business. Well, if you're hiring out affiliates and you're only using like a merchant account like PayPal or some other type of merchant account, you actually have to send the tax forms to all your affiliates that make over $600 a year. So it really that takes up a lot of time, and there are services out there, affiliate programs that will basically take a small percentage of the commissions you make off your products, and they will actually do all the payment process for you. So two that I really wanted to bring up that I personally like are ClickBank and JVZoo. Now, ClickBank has been around since the beginning. They are pretty much like the original affiliate program that you can go and launch your product on. They handle all the payment processing for you and for all your affiliates. So if you have a information product, definitely consider setting up through ClickBank or JVZoo or Warrior Plus or something like that because it's just going to save you a load of time and for like 3.5% of your commissions, it's so worth it. So, does anybody else want to add anything to that, or am I pretty much the only one with that experience? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it. There was another one that I've heard of recently, which I've started to think that I might use in the future. Is eJunkie? Has anybody heard of that? Although it's not the payment automation, it's the next section which helps you send out
Yeah.
any of your digital products,
Is that
and it
is
does
that?
that automatically.
Yeah, I've heard of eJunkie. Is that strictly digital products, or can you also do physical products as well?
Yeah, it delivers the digital products for you, and it also has a shopping cart to automate and send through the payment and the notification to you, so you can send out a physical product too.
Very
But
cool.
I
Yeah.
think the coolest thing is the automation of the actual digital product, because then you can be sending out your digital product while you sleep or while you're on holiday,
Hey, that's what it's all about, right? I mean, just freeing up your
Yes.
life a little bit. That's the beauty
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
internet. Anybody else want to add anything to that, or should I jump on to outsourcing? I guess I'll jump right into it then. So, outsourcing is just another form, and I know we recently talked about this a little bit, but if you're not outsourcing stuff in your business, it's a really good idea to hire a VA because they can handle a lot of the tedious tasks in your business that you really don't want to mess with. Because at the end of the day, if you're a business owner and you're the one thinking up all the ideas, and you really need a VA to to handle the tedious stuff, so you can focus on the important stuff, like creating products and networking with other business owners and things like that. So there's three that I personally like and to find VAs, and one is Odesk. That's my personal favorite just because it's extremely user friendly. Now everybody has a personal preference, of course, and someone might tell you freelancer is better than Odesk, but it's really personal preference. You just got to kind of shop around and figure out what works for you. And then the other one is Elance, which is another really good platform to find quality VAs as well. So, have you guys had any experience with any of these platforms?
I've used
No.
Fiverr.
Yes, I forgot to mention Fiverr. That's another great one because you can do stuff really cheap there.
Yes, I guess that works on a similar basis. I love Fiverr. I think it's such an awesome thing because if you haven't, I know we were talking about keeping it very personal and making sure that you inject yourself into any blog posts, for example. But if you are so short on time, you've got a subject that needs to get out there and you need a blog post written, you can get it done really quickly and really cheaply. And then if you just take 20 minutes to just go over it and add a bit of yourself into it, you've saved yourself an awful lot of time. In a tight situation, you need to get something done. Absolutely use it.
That's a
Yeah,
great
for
point.
sure. I've done some. I've outsourced articles before on my old site, and probably like 50 of them, and a lot of them were really well written. I actually went through 99-cent articles or something. They did pretty good articles. I think they started out a little bit better, and as I stuck with them, the articles got more and more generic. I noticed that, so I kind of had to stray away from it. But I don't know what their policies are now. They might have changed, so I'm not gonna talk bad about them because they did give me some quality articles for really cheap actually. So that was definitely a cool experience.
The only thing I don't like about Fiverr is that they do make it difficult to communicate easily with and openly and freely with the person that you're using. They do kind of make it hard you can't put in your email and
you can't put in like
web
Facebook or
addresses.
Skype.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, they block all those keywords in the messenger, so you can't type them in there and give people your Skype ID and things like that. So
Right.
I definitely got booted off of Fiverr for trying to, get designers to talk to me on Skype. I had to recreate a new account, so they're really.
One thing I've used them for a lot that successfully is just a lot of research, going out on the web and finding, a list of blogs that I may want to contact and let them know that I have a podcast in that niche and that sort of thing. So just simple projects like that where it doesn't take a lot of detail. It's like, hey, go find all the diving blogs you can find at, $5, it's worth it.
Heck yeah, man. It's awesome.
That's a really good idea.
I concur.
I found a lot of really good people on Odesk. It just takes a little. You just have to know that on Odesk you're going to be kind of like bypassing the cheaper people because that's where the language barriers are, and that's where people are going to give you a really hard time and kind of slow down the process. So it's always better to pay a little bit more and get what you need and find somebody that you can work with on a consistent basis as opposed to always going the cheap route.
That's very true. I found
long term it just saves you time and money.
I found pretty much all my VAs through Odesk, and you can actually find them there pretty cheap. And one thing I've definitely learned with outsourcing is don't ever start out doing an hourly wage because they will take their sweet ass time. It's definitely a good idea to set up fixed prices when you first start outsourcing. And if the VA can gain your trust and you see that they're committed to their job, then consider giving them an hourly rate or something like that.
What I did was I would hire people to work for me, and I would put them on a weekly wage. It would just be between me and that person. There would be no fluctuating. I would not give them an hourly rate. I just won't do it. So I've gotten very good. VAs on Odesk for about $100 a week. That's a good price.
I think a really, really, really vital thing to understand if you're listening to this and you're thinking about, using a VA just because you have like a few things that you need to do, and you can do it. You can segment it off and go, hey, I got this little project I want to use a VA for. But if you're thinking about a long-term VA, the most vital thing you can do is to sit down and go through your business and write out every single step of your business and create standard operating procedures for each of those tasks and really break those things down. And then that way, when you're paying these people, you're giving them very specific, concise instructions, and you're not paying them to figure out how to do what you already know how to do. So it's
I love that, man.
Very, very important.
Point. Just it's such a time saver too in the long run, because once you write it out once, you can just copy and paste it to every single person that applies for the job.
Yeah.
Right, and then for any business owner, I mean, it's about the healthiest thing you can do anyway, because you're going to get that full understanding of your business and whatever your model is, and you're going to go, oh, why do I do it like this? And figure out things that you can change.
I think something that some people don't know is that there are plenty of people in America who are college students who are very talented writers, talented individuals who just want to make a little bit of money, and they're willing to work 2 or 3 days a week for $100. So if you can get them, if you get somebody that's really good, and you see their work can be as good or better than your own, then you can basically just let that person go to town. You know what I mean? And just tell them that they have to get a certain amount of work done, and But there's plenty of college kids, I think, that are in need of $100 a week. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah. Let's jump to the last point here because I want to wrap it up at 6 o'clock. And I just want to talk about a couple different ways you can actually have pretty much complete business automation, all from one platform. And one that I found that looks really promising is Entreport. They just seem to be able to handle your email marketing, your payments, even I think your landing pages and things like that. So it's like an all-in-one platform. Have you guys heard of Entreport or Infusionsoft even?
I've heard of Confusionsoft, but not. I've heard of Entreport actually, and I've heard good things about Entreport, but I have not tried either one.
Wow, I actually talked to a guy, a salesman of Infusionsoft, because they were trying to sell me on the product or whatever, and I think it was like $2,500 as like a deductible just to sign up with Infusionsoft, and I'm like, man, like no one in their right mind is going to pay that to automate their business. There's a lot of ways to do it. Now, obviously I don't think they are a bad company, and I've heard a lot of good things from different people as far as their like email deliverability. The way they have the visual drag and drop stuff in the background to where you can plan stuff out. So there are some advantages to it, but it is expensive. And if you're,
I think it's more for a bigger business. I think that's for people who are, that's kind of a solution that was invented for people who do big business, and they need to make a lot of sales really fast and get all that stuff kind of like worked out. I would say obviously maybe none of us in this room are even in that ballpark yet, but we'd like to get there. Test it out.
That's definitely an enterprise level
Definitely.
software, I think, and Entreport may not be too far behind it. I don't think. I haven't looked into it, but I know it's very similar.
Yeah, I think they charge like for their pro package. I think it's like $300 a month just to start out. So yeah,
How about HubSpot?
I've never used it. Never used it.
No, I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
my Facebook question of the day, guys, I'll ask you real quick. Would you rather
Right.
make a one-time sale of $100,000, or would you rather make $100,000 sales?
The $100,001 sales. So I have all their emails.
Absolutely.
That's the answer for anybody who works online, but if you're offline, it could be the opposite, obviously. So
Right.
I think it just depends on where you're working, but that is something to think about. You know, a lot of people they're so concentrating on making 100 grand this year that they forget that they can make $1 today or $1 tomorrow. You know, and kind of just learn how to make that dollar and then multiply it, and that's really where the online strategy kind of takes shape. I think is when you know, when it comes to automating, you're not trying to go big. You're trying to start off small and get paid to build that list. You know what I mean? There's plenty.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
absolutely.
plenty of
Right.
services that you can offer for $1 that people are going to love. Any kind of like, if you build a product and gave it away for $1, and it was targeted traffic that came to your website, you know, 50% of the people that come to your site might want to buy that product because they, you know, if you market it right. So I mean, it's important to remember that starting off small is the biggest way to get going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even exchanging a single dollar, it builds trust with your customer,
Yeah.
even if it's just a dollar. So, you might have an upsell down there for, 50, $60 that they, 50% of the people that bought in at a dollar would be willing to try out the $60 product,
You know, or build a product and give them the ebook version for the $1. So you can have the product be a video course and then give them the ebook for $1 just to start, and then upsell them later on with an email to purchase your product for $39. You know what I mean? But you got to start somewhere, and right now people are hesitant because they're, you know, and like Seth said, you want to build trust. So yeah, I think it's a really good strategy right now in the current market.
Absolutely, and then it's with that first low dollar sale, and I think you can use that dollar amount to sort of gauge their trust, but gauge their interest in your product. You know, if they're going to spend $7 instead of $1, then obviously you've got a better, you know, they're thinking you have a better product, and hopefully you do. But the other good point of that is you're getting paid $1 to gain a new customer, and that's, like you said, you're going to upsell to them later. So.
Absolutely, that's what you want to do is get that customer, and a lot of times they would prefer to give you money as opposed to get on a freebie list. So, you know, it's important to know that there's plenty of people who don't want your free stuff. There's plenty of people who want to pay you for your hard work. You just have to realize that it's like, you have to flip that switch, you know what I mean, and realize that people want to pay you. So get something up quick and find out. Just test it out, you know.
So does anybody else have anything to add? It's 6:01 right now, and we are a minute overdue, so or a minute late. So.
No, I'm fine. That was great advice at the end there. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me on this week's Hangout. And you guys can check out the actual recording at whitehatmastermind.com. Thank you for watching, and have a great night. Take care, guys.